What unfolds when a merciless gang strides into a local black barbershop, issuing threats? There stands a hefty black man, underestimated by the gang for his size. They provoke him, unaware that he's a retired professional boxer whose life has been shaped by combat. The rhythmic buzzing of clippers harmonizes with bursts of laughter and chatter, sunlight streaming through the expansive front windows, casting reflections on the sleek black and white tiles. Darius, positioned comfortably near the corner, his broad shoulders easing as he enjoys his steaming coffee, is surrounded by lively discussions ranging from sports to local gossip. Jerome, the barber, skillfully crafts a fade on his client, while debating the prowess of boxing legends, asserting Ali's finesse over Tyson's brute force. The barbershop serves not just for haircuts, but as a sanctuary and cornerstone of the community, where camaraderie reigns and problems find solutions. This peace is soon disrupted as the door chimes jingle, signaling the entrance of three swaggering men, their sneers preceding their introductions. The leader, Ethan, with his wiry frame and piercing eyes, flanked by his cronies, Jake and Brandon, announces their presence with a mocking tone, assessing the shop and its occupants with a sense of entitlement. The atmosphere thickens with tension as Ethan leans on the counter, suggesting a protection fee to keep the barbershop safe, a veiled threat under the guise of neighborhood security. The banter ceases, replaced by a charged silence as the gang mocks Darius for his size, mistaking his quiet demeanor as weakness. But Darius remains composed, his history within the boxing ring his secret shield. As insults fly and the threat escalates, Darius's restraint is steadfast, his response calm yet firm, asserting that respect is earned, a concept the gang seems to lack. The confrontation spirals as the gang persists, but Darius, unwavering, makes it clear they are unwelcome. In a swift motion reflective of his boxing precision, Darius stands, the situation teetering on the brink of violence. The gang, fueled by bravado, fails to intimidate him. What follows is a swift demonstration of skill over might, as Darius, with the poise of a seasoned fighter, defends the barbershop. Each blow he delivers is a reminder of his prowess, ultimately sending the gang reeling out the door, their leader's threats hollow against Darius's resolute stance. As the sun sets, casting long shadows outside, the community's safe haven is restored, the respect for Darius palpable. The barbershop buzzes anew, patrons and barber alike sharing a renewed sense of security and community spirit, thanks to one man's courage and a life dedicated to fighting not just in the ring, but for what's right. The echo of Darius's fists still hung in the air as the defeated gang limped away, their threats dwindling with each step. Inside the barbershop, conversations resumed, now interwoven with expressions of gratitude and respect towards Darius. Jerome, brushing off a stray hair from his client, finally broke the palpable silence. "Man, Darius, how do you stay so calm?" Darius, picking up his cup of now cold coffee, offered a modest shrug. "It's all about knowing what you stand for. This place, it's not just walls and chairs. It's home to stories, to life, to us." The patrons nodded in agreement, their eyes reflecting a mixture of awe and relief. As the evening progressed, the barbershop regained its rhythm. Laughter echoed off the walls, the clippers resumed their buzzing, and Darius's heroic act became the latest chapter in the shop's storied history. Parents whispered to their children, pointing discreetly at Darius, who simply smiled, acknowledging their silent thanks with a nod. The next day, the barbershop opened to a line of patrons, each eager not just for a haircut, but to see the man who had stood up against the gang. Darius, there for his usual trim, found himself engulfed in handshakes and pats on the back. Jerome, ever the businessman, joked, should start charging extra for seats in Darius's corner. Yet, the undercurrent of the previous day's events remained, a reminder of the fine line between peace and peril in the community. As Darius left the shop, a young boy tugged at his sleeve. "Mister, are you going to be here all the time now?" he asked, his eyes wide with a mix of curiosity and concern. Darius knelt down to meet the boy's gaze, his voice gentle, Whenever you guys need me, I'll be around. But remember, this place has always got people looking out for each other." Reassured, the boy nodded, running off to his waiting mother, who offered Darius a grateful smile. As the day faded into evening, Darius stood outside the shop, watching the familiar faces pass by. The street was more than just a part of the city. It was a community, strong and resilient, its spirit undimmed by the challenges it faced. Back inside, Jerome swept up the remnants of the day, his voice carrying over the hum of the clippers. "You ever think about what would have happened if you weren't here, Darius?" Darius, pausing at the door, turned back and smiled. "Things happen for a reason, Jerome. I was here because this is where I needed to be." With that, he stepped out into the cooling evening, the barbershop light casting a long shadow behind him. The neighborhood, once overshadowed by fear, now thrived in the warmth of community and courage, a testament to the quiet strength of a man who believed in respect, dignity, and the power of standing up for one's neighbors. In the days that followed, the barbershop buzzed not only with the sound of clippers, but with stories of Darius's bravery. News of the confrontation spread beyond the shop's walls, igniting conversations throughout the neighborhood. Locals, who once walked quickly past shadowed alleys, now lingered in the streets, their conversations infused with a renewed sense of security and pride. Darius, while humbled by the attention, understood that his actions had stirred something fundamental in the community, a collective realization of their own resilience and power. He returned to his routine, but with each visit to the shop, he found himself engaged in deeper discussions about community safety and solidarity. One afternoon, as Darius sipped his coffee in the corner of the shop, an impromptu community meeting began to take shape. Neighbors of all ages crowded into the shop, standing shoulder to shoulder, eager to transform their gratitude into action. They talked of organizing neighborhood patrols, setting up youth outreach programs, and other initiatives to ensure their community remained a safe harbor for everyone. Jerome, seeing the potential for lasting change, offered the barbershop as a regular meeting spot. "This shop is more than just a place for haircuts," he declared, his voice echoing off the mirrored walls. "It's a community center, a place where we stand together." Darius listened, nodding in agreement. When asked to lead the neighborhood watch program, he accepted, not as a hero, but as a neighbor committed to the collective well-being. "We all have a part to play," he insisted. "It's about looking out for each other, knowing when to step up and how to pull together." As the meetings became a regular occurrence, the community's fabric strengthened. Darius's actions had sparked a movement, one that grew beyond the confines of a single act of bravery. It wasn't long before the neighborhood saw a noticeable drop in petty crimes and disturbances. The local police even acknowledged the community's efforts, partnering with them to provide resources and support. Months passed, and the barbershop saw many transformations. Its walls, once blank, were now adorned with photographs of community events and newspaper clippings celebrating local achievements. Central among them, a feature on Darius's heroism and the resurgence of neighborhood unity. One crisp evening, as Darius locked up the gym he had started working at part-time, he reflected on the changes. The street was quiet, the lamplights casting a gentle glow on the faces of people who no longer felt like strangers. They were his people, strong, resilient, and united. As he walked home, the echoes of gratitude followed him. Elderly Mrs. Thompson waved from her porch, the teenagers playing basketball nodded in respect, and young families strolled peacefully. Each gesture, each smile, reaffirmed the profound impact of standing up for one's community. Back at his apartment, Darius stood at his window, looking out over the neighborhood he had helped transform. The challenges were many, but the victories, those small, shared triumphs, spoke of a brighter future. A future he had helped shape, not through fists and force, but through heart and unwavering dedication to the ideals of community and respect. As the night deepened, the quiet streets whispered stories of past struggles and newfound peace. Darius knew the road ahead would have its bumps, but he also knew the community was ready to stand up, to protect, and to thrive. Together, they had turned a once uncertain path into a journey of collective strength and unity. As autumn arrived, the neighborhood buzzed with activity, spurred by Darius's leadership and the newfound sense of community spirit. The Barbershop, now unofficially dubbed the neighborhood's town hall, hosted events ranging from job fairs to health clinics, each initiative reinforcing the bonds formed in the recent months. Darius, always at the forefront, found himself taking on roles he had never imagined. From mentoring young people in the community to helping organize local events, he became a central figure not only in ensuring safety, but in fostering development and opportunity. One sunny Saturday morning, Darius and Jerome unveiled a community garden project on a vacant lot that had once been a magnet for unsavory activities. With shovels in hand and children giggling around them, they turned over the first patches of earth. This garden was more than just a place to grow vegetables. It was a symbol of renewal and growth. Every plant we grow here stands for a part of us, growing stronger and more connected, Darius told the gathered crowd, which responded with enthusiastic applause. The project drew in people from all walks of life in the neighborhood. Elderly residents shared their knowledge of gardening, while the younger ones brought energy and new ideas. Together they planted, watered, and cared for the garden, which soon blossomed into a vibrant patchwork of greens, yellows, and reds. As the garden grew, so did the children. Darius organized weekly sessions where he taught them not only about nature and science, but about life skills like responsibility, teamwork, and respect. These moments were about planting seeds both in the ground and in young minds, seeds that would grow into the future pillars of the community. The impact of these efforts was palpable. Local businesses thrived as the community rallied to support them, knowing that every dollar spent was a seed sown into their collective future. The barbershop continued to buzz with more than just clippers. It hummed with plans for holiday drives, back-to-school campaigns, and even a neighborhood watch program that kept everyone safe. As winter approached, the community prepared to celebrate its first annual Unity Festival, a concept born in the heart of the garden and nurtured in countless conversations among neighbors. The festival was to feature local artists, musicians, and food vendors, each representing the diverse tapestry of the community. Darius stood on the makeshift stage, a simple platform in the middle of the garden, surrounded by rows of hearty winter vegetables and faces brimming with pride and joy. He looked over the crowd, his heart full. "This," he began, his voice clear and strong, "this is what we can achieve when we stand together. This garden, this festival, this community, none of it would be possible without each of you." The festival was more than a success. It was a declaration of the neighborhood's identity, resilience, and unity. Children danced to the music, parents shared stories and laughter, and elders watched with satisfaction, knowing that they were part of something enduring. As the year drew to a close, Darius reflected on the journey from that tense day in the barbershop to the thriving community before him. The fights had been hard, the days long, but every step was worth it. He knew challenges would come, but he also knew his community would face them together, as a family. In the quiet of a winter evening, with snow gently falling over the glowing lights of the street, Darius felt a peace he hadn't known before. This peace was earned, fought for by a community that had learned its strength. Looking out over the quiet, snow-covered garden, he whispered a simple promise into the chilly air: "I'm here for you as long as you need me." And with that promise, Darius turned back towards the warm lights of the barbershop, ready to plan for the spring, for the future. A future he now knew was full of hope and endless possibilities. As the new year dawned, the community continued to flourish under Darius's watchful eye. The garden, now covered in a layer of frost, became a metaphor for the neighborhood's resilience, promising renewal and growth with the coming spring. Darius, ever vigilant, understood that the true test of their progress would be sustaining the momentum of change and unity. Winter proved to be a season of reflection and planning. Darius and the community leaders, a diverse group representing every corner of the neighborhood, met regularly at the barbershop. Here, surrounded by the familiar hum of clippers and the comforting scent of Barber's tonic, they strategized on expanding their initiatives. Education became a key focus. Darius spearheaded a partnership with the local schools to introduce mentoring programs. Professionals from the community volunteered their time to help students with homework, teach life skills, and offer career guidance. Darius often shared his story, emphasizing the importance of discipline and resilience, lessons he knew well from his boxing days and recent challenges. The community also rallied around preserving local history and culture. Jerome suggested starting an archive of the neighborhood's history, involving residents in collecting stories, photographs, and artifacts. This project not only celebrated their heritage, but also strengthened community bonds. It was a testament to their collective identity, showcasing the struggles and triumphs that had shaped their shared environment. As spring approached, the garden shed its snowy blanket, revealing the hardy sprouts of early bloomers. The community's excitement was palpable as they prepared for the first planting of the year. The garden had expanded, now including a small orchard donated by a local nursery. The sight of children planting saplings, their laughter mingling with the chatter of eager parents and grandparents, was a powerful symbol of the community's ongoing regeneration. Darius, observing the bustling activity, felt a profound sense of accomplishment and purpose. He had seen these people transform from isolated individuals into a strong, interconnected community. Their efforts had reduced crime, beautified their surroundings, and created a network of support that everyone could depend on. During one sunny afternoon, while kids dashed around the blooming garden, an elderly man approached Darius. He was one of the original barbershop patrons, a quiet observer of the transformation that had enveloped their neighborhood. Clapping a hand on Darius's shoulder, he smiled, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. "You've done more than just change a place, son," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "You've revived hope here. That's something we thought we'd lost." These words struck a chord in Darius. He realized that his impact went beyond physical changes. He had helped instill hope and pride, essential ingredients for long-term success. This realization deepened his commitment to the community, fueling his passion for ongoing projects and new initiatives. The annual Unity Festival now marked the beginning of spring, a celebration of renewal and community spirit. It had grown, attracting attention from beyond their neighborhood borders. Local businesses thrived, supported by residents and visitors alike. The festival featured art installations by local artists, performances by community groups, and a market showcasing homemade products and local cuisine. As Darius stood on the festival stage, looking out over the crowd of familiar faces and new visitors, he reflected on the journey they had all taken together. "This festival isn't just a celebration of spring," he announced, his voice carrying over the crowd. "It's a celebration of you, of us, and of all we've achieved together. Let's keep growing, together." The applause that followed was not just for Darius, but for every member of the community, each of whom had played a part in the transformation. As the festival continued, Darius mingled with the crowd, sharing stories, embracing old friends, and welcoming newcomers. He felt deeply rooted in this place, nourished by the collective strength and unity of the community he loved. Looking forward, Darius knew there would be challenges, but he also knew they had built a foundation strong enough to withstand whatever might come their way. With each new project, each festival, and each story shared in the barbershop, they were weaving a tapestry of community that would inspire generations to come. As the seasons cycled through their paces, each brought its own opportunities for Darius and the community to grow and deepen their roots. Summer rolled in with a warmth that revitalized not just the garden, but also the collective spirit of the neighborhood. Under the sunlit days, the community garden burgeoned, turning into a lush haven that drew people together for more than just gardening. It became a venue for outdoor classes, from yoga sessions that welcomed the dawn to evening storytelling sessions under string lights, where tales of the neighborhood's history mingled with fiction and folklore. Darius, with his ever-present knack for seeing potential, launched a series of workshops held right in the garden. These included everything from basic financial literacy classes taught by local bank representatives to cooking demonstrations using produce grown in the garden, led by culinary enthusiasts from the community. Each initiative was met with enthusiasm, as people young and old discovered new skills and passions. As the leader of these efforts, Darius found himself more deeply intertwined in the lives of his neighbors. He was a mentor, a confidant, and, perhaps most importantly, a catalyst for change. His once solitary routine now included impromptu meetings with community members who brought him their ideas, hopes, and sometimes their problems. Darius listened, advised, and whenever possible, acted to help turn their visions into reality. With the arrival of fall, the community prepared for the second annual Unity Festival. Building on the previous year's success, they expanded the event to include a small carnival for children and a series of competitive events like a bake-off and a photography contest, celebrating local talent and fostering a healthy community spirit. The festival not only brought the neighborhood together, but also attracted visitors from throughout the city, drawn by the stories of transformation and unity that had become synonymous with the area. During the festival, Darius unveiled a new project, a community mural on the side of the barbershop, depicting key moments from the neighborhood's history, including the revitalization of the garden. Local artists collaborated on the design, and on the day of the festival, everyone was invited to add a brushstroke, symbolizing their part in the community's ongoing story. Winter brought quieter days, but the community didn't hibernate. Instead, they used this time to reflect on their achievements and plan for the future. Darius organized a series of community roundtables, held in the cozy warmth of the barbershop. These gatherings were aimed at addressing the neighborhood's challenges and planning for its future. Topics ranged from improving local schools to addressing the needs of the elderly population. During one such meeting, a new idea was proposed by a young mother, reflecting on how the community could better support working parents. Inspired, Darius helped spearhead the creation of a community daycare initiative, utilizing unused spaces in local buildings. The project was met with overwhelming support, filling a vital need and further strengthening the communal bonds. As the next spring approached, Darius stood in the blooming garden, now not just a symbol of growth, but a testament to what could be achieved when a community worked as one. He watched children chase each other around the flower beds and older residents bask in the sun, their faces relaxed and content. Darius knew that the work they were doing was about more than just beautifying a neighborhood or hosting festivals. It was about creating a sustainable model of community life that could inspire others and stand the test of time. As he planned for another year of projects and initiatives, he felt a profound sense of fulfillment. "This is more than I ever expected," he confessed to Jerome one cool evening as they surveyed the lively scene of the garden from the doorstep of the barbershop. Jerome smiled, clapping him on the back. "You started this, Darius. You showed us what we could do together. There's no limit to what's next." Indeed, for Darius and the neighborhood, the journey was ongoing. Each step forward was a step into a future they were writing together, a future bright with promise, guided by the enduring power of community. As the community continued to evolve, so too did its aspirations and achievements. The success of the daycare initiative inspired a new wave of proposals from residents, each eager to contribute their own visions for the neighborhood's future. One such project that quickly gained traction was the establishment of a community learning center, which aimed to provide free courses and workshops on a wide range of subjects from technology and coding to arts and crafts, catering to all ages. Darius, ever a proponent of education and self-improvement, threw his full support behind the initiative. He saw the Learning Center as a beacon of opportunity, an essential resource that could empower residents and provide them with the skills needed to thrive in an increasingly complex world. With donations from local businesses and grants secured by active community members, the Learning Center opened its doors in early summer, housed in a renovated building that once stood vacant and neglected. The opening ceremony was a celebration of collective effort and potential. Children and adults alike marveled at the state-of-the-art facilities, including a computer lab and a creative studio, all designed to be accessible and inviting. Darius, speaking at the event, emphasized the center's role as a launchpad for dreams, where anyone could come to learn, explore, and grow without barriers. As summer progressed, the Learning Center became a hub of activity. Seniors attended digital literacy classes, teenagers engaged in coding boot camps, and young children participated in reading circles and art classes. Each program was led by volunteers from the community, including retired teachers, local tech enthusiasts, and artists. The center not only facilitated learning but also fostered new relationships among residents, who discovered shared interests and goals. Amidst these developments, Darius found personal growth. He enrolled in a leadership and community organizing course at the Learning Center, eager to refine his skills and better serve his neighborhood. This experience gave him deeper insights into the challenges of community work and equipped him with strategies to enhance his impact. His role as a community leader was becoming more formalized, and he relished the chance to learn just as much as he taught. With fall approaching and the Unity Festival on the horizon once more, the neighborhood was abuzz with excitement and a sense of accomplishment. This year, the festival promised to be even more extensive, with the Learning Center showcasing projects and artworks by residents, live performances by local musicians, and a community awards ceremony to recognize outstanding volunteers and innovators. The festival day was a vibrant tapestry of colors, sounds, and scents. Stalls lined the streets, selling everything from homemade crafts to international cuisines, each a testament to the neighborhood's diversity and creativity. The Community Awards ceremony, introduced by Darius, was a heartfelt affair, celebrating the unsung heroes who had dedicated their time and energy to the community's betterment. As he stood on the festival stage, looking out over the crowd of familiar faces and new friends, Darius felt a surge of pride. He reflected on the journey they had all taken, from a community fragmented by fear and uncertainty to one united by hope and a shared vision of progress. This festival, he announced, is not just a celebration of what we have achieved, but also a commitment to what we aspire to be. Together, we are building something lasting here, something that will continue to grow long after we are gone. Let's keep dreaming, learning, and succeeding together. The applause was thunderous, filled with the energy of a community that had come to believe in its ability to effect change. As night fell and the last of the festival lights flickered against the twilight sky, Darius walked through the crowds, exchanging stories and laughter, a beloved figure in a community he helped transform. The years would bring new challenges, but the foundation they had built was strong. Darius knew that whatever the future held, the community would face it together, with resilience and a boundless spirit of unity. As the stars appeared above, he felt a profound connection to this place and its people, a bond forged through shared struggle and triumph. This was home, not just in a physical sense, but in every aspect that truly mattered. As the tension built up with the unwelcome entrance of the gang, the serene atmosphere of the barbershop transformed into one of wary anticipation. The gang's leader, with a sneer, swaggered through the barbershop, his gaze audacious, treating the sanctity of the place with blatant disrespect. "Good afternoon, gentlemen," he drawled sarcastically, his voice dripping with disdain as he leaned nonchalantly against the counter, surveying his surroundings. His cronies, emboldened by his confidence, followed suit, their eyes gleaming with a mix of arrogance and challenge. They paraded through the shop, their posture aggressive, as if they owned the place. The leader, a smirk playing on his lips, finally set his eyes on Darius, who remained composed, his presence like a quiet storm. "What do we have here? A champion or just an extra-large bystander?" he taunted, his words slicing through the air, sharp and intended to provoke. The shop fell silent, the buzz of the clippers fading into a tense hush as all eyes turned towards Darius. His response was measured, his deep voice calm yet resonant. "I'm just someone who believes respect is earned." The gang laughed, a harsh sound that filled the room with its cruelty. "Respect. Let's see how respectful you feel after we're done here," the leader sneered, stepping closer, his demeanor turning threatening. The air thickened with hostility, the gang's menace palpable, pushing the situation to the brink. But Darius stood up, his movements deliberate, embodying a confidence that only a man of his experience could muster. "This place, this sanctuary, doesn't need your kind of protection," he declared firmly, his gaze unwavering as he faced the gang leader head-on. The confrontation escalated quickly. The leader, infuriated by Darius's defiance, signaled his crew. "Show him what happens when you disrespect us," he commanded. In an instant, the barbershop erupted into chaos. But Darius, with the agility and skill honed by years in the ring, was ready. He moved with precision, his responses not just defensive but assertive, countering each aggressive move with one of his own. Each strike Darius delivered was a testament to his strength and his resolve to protect the community that had become his extended family. The gang, taken aback by his prowess, found themselves outmatched. The skirmish was intense, every punch thrown by Darius not just a blow but a statement, a declaration that he, and the community he stood for, were not to be underestimated. The clash ended as quickly as it had begun, with the gang retreating, their arrogance replaced by shock and pain. Darius stood amidst the now silent shop, his chest heaving, but his stance resolute. The patrons, who had watched in awe, now erupted in spontaneous applause, their cheers not just for the physical victory but for the spirit and courage Darius had exemplified. As the gang stumbled out, defeated, the barbershop's atmosphere transformed once again, this time from tension back to its original warmth and camaraderie. The community had been tested, but through Darius's actions they had emerged stronger, their bonds fortified not just by shared experience but by the collective affirmation of their resilience and unity. Darius, wiping a bead of sweat from his brow, turned to the patrons, a slight smile breaking through his otherwise stern demeanor. "Let's get back to our day," he said, his voice carrying a lightness that belied the intensity of the moments just past. The barbers resumed their work, the customers returned to their conversations, and the barbershop, once again, became a place of laughter and lively discussion, a sanctuary restored by the courage of one man who stood up not just for himself, but for all. As the barbershop settled back into its familiar rhythm, the impact of Darius's actions resonated deeply within the community. Word of his confrontation with the gang spread rapidly, not just within the confines of the shop, but throughout the neighborhood. It wasn't long before Darius's courage became the talk of the town, his story a beacon of resilience and a clear message that this community would stand strong against intimidation. In the days following the incident, residents approached Darius with newfound respect and gratitude. Parents thanked him for making the streets safer for their children, and local business owners acknowledged how his bravery had averted what could have escalated into a reign of terror by the gang. Darius, however, remained humble, redirecting the praise towards the collective spirit of the neighborhood. "It's not about one person," he would say, sitting in his usual spot at the barbershop, sipping his coffee. "It's about all of us looking out for each other." Motivated by Darius's actions, the community decided to strengthen their neighborhood watch program. Meetings were organized right in the barbershop, where strategies were formulated not just for safety, but also for fostering a closer-knit community. Workshops on self-defense became a regular event, and Darius often led these sessions, teaching more than just physical defense tactics, but also the importance of awareness and community solidarity. The sense of unity that Darius had inspired led to the creation of a community fund aimed at supporting local youths who wanted to pursue sports or other extracurricular activities. "It's about giving our kids paths other than the streets," Darius explained during one of the neighborhood meetings. "We need to invest in their futures as much as we invest in our safety." As autumn painted the leaves in hues of orange and red, the neighborhood organized a festival to celebrate the community's renewed spirit and solidarity. Dubbed the Unity Harvest Festival, it featured games for children, food stalls with local delicacies, and a special corner dedicated to storytelling, where the elders shared tales of the neighborhood's history and its transformation. Darius was invited to speak at the festival. Standing on a makeshift stage, with families and friends gathered around, he looked out over a sea of faces, all united by a shared sense of purpose and community. "Today isn't just a celebration of what we've overcome, but also of what we're building together," Darius addressed the crowd, his voice filled with emotion. "This festival marks a new beginning for us, a dedication to continue growing stronger and closer as a community." The festival was a resounding success, symbolizing a collective step forward. It became an annual event, anticipated by everyone in the neighborhood. Each year, as the festival grew, so did the community's initiatives. From beautification projects to after-school programs, the seeds of change that Darius had helped plant continued to bear fruit. Years passed, and Darius watched with pride as children who once played in the streets grew into community leaders themselves. The barbershop remained a central hub, a place where people came not just for haircuts, but also for advice, support, and camaraderie. One quiet evening, as Darius closed the shop, an older gentleman approached him, extending his hand in gratitude. "You've changed this place, Darius. You've changed all of us," he said, his voice thick with sincerity. Darius smiled, locking the shop's door before turning to face the setting sun. "We changed it together," he replied, his heart full. "This is what happens when a community stands together, unbreakable, united, and unyielding." As he walked home, the echoes of laughter from the nearby park, the vibrant murals on the walls, and the clean, well-lit streets were testaments to the power of community. Darius knew that as long as they remained united, there was nothing they couldn't face together. With each step, he felt not just the weight of past struggles, but the strength of a bright future, crafted by the hands of a united community. The barbershop, once a simple place for haircuts and small talk, had transformed under Darius's influence into the heart of the community, a place where bonds were strengthened and plans for a brighter future were forged. The chairs were filled not just with patrons waiting for their turn, but also with folks sharing ideas and discussing community issues. It was here, in this humble barbershop, that the resilience and unity of the neighborhood were most palpable. As winter approached, bringing with it the crisp chill of the season, the community's spirit remained undiminished. Darius had initiated a winter clothing drive, understanding that the cold months could be harsh for those less fortunate. The barbershop served as the collection point, quickly filling with donations of coats, scarves, and gloves. Darius's commitment to the welfare of his neighbors reinforced the respect and affection the community held for him. During one particularly snowy evening, as Darius was locking up the shop, a young mother and her small child approached him. The mother, a recent transplant to the neighborhood, expressed her gratitude. "I heard about what you've done for this place," she said, her eyes reflecting the glow of the streetlights. "You've made it feel like home for us, and I just wanted to say thank you." Darius, touched by her words, smiled warmly. "We're all here to support each other," he replied. "If you ever need anything, this community, and this barbershop, is here for you." The holiday season was vibrant and full of life, with the barbershop at the center of the community's celebrations. A small tree stood in the corner of the shop, decorated with ornaments crafted by local children. Darius hosted a holiday party at the shop, where stories were shared, laughter rang out, and the air was filled with a delicious sense of homemade treats. As the new year dawned, Darius reflected on the journey they had all taken together. The neighborhood had not only faced its challenges, but had risen above them, becoming a model of community engagement and mutual support. Darius knew that there was still work to be done, but he also knew that they had the strength and commitment to meet any challenge head-on. With the arrival of spring, plans were underway for another Unity Festival. This year, it was to be bigger than ever, a true celebration of everything the community had achieved. New businesses had opened, families had moved in, and there was a palpable sense of optimism in the air. Darius stood before the community gathered at the festival, ready to speak as he had done many times before. He looked out over the crowd, seeing familiar faces and new ones alike, all united by a shared sense of purpose and community. Each year, we gather here not just to celebrate the passing of seasons, but to reaffirm our commitment to each other, Darius began, his voice strong and clear. We've built something extraordinary here, something that goes beyond the individual. We've created a community that lifts each other up, that stands together, and that faces the future with hope and determination. The applause was heartfelt and loud, echoing through the streets. Darius's words weren't just a speech. They were a testament to the power of unity and the strength of a community that had come together to create a safe, supportive, and thriving environment for all its members. As the festival continued around him, with music playing, children laughing, and neighbors chatting, Darius felt a deep, abiding satisfaction. He had helped to lead this community to a better place, but he knew that it was their collective effort that had made all the difference. The future was bright, and for Darius and his neighborhood, the possibilities were endless. As the festival wound down, the sun set casting a golden hue over the smiling faces of the community. Darius took a moment to soak in the view, reflecting on the path that had led them here. From a time of uncertainty and discord, they had transformed their neighborhood into a vibrant, supportive community. It wasn't just the physical improvements, but the spirit of the people that had revitalized this place. Over the coming months, Darius and the Community Council, a group he helped to establish, worked diligently on new projects. Their next big initiative was an expansion of the Community Learning Center to include a small library and media room, offering access to books, computers, and educational software. The project was funded through local fundraisers, grants, and significant volunteer efforts, symbolizing the community's investment in its own future. The library opening was a festive day, attended by nearly everyone in the neighborhood. Children's faces lit up as they explored the shelves stocked with books, and adults appreciated the access to resources that were once out of reach. Darius, watching the community come together to celebrate yet another milestone, felt a profound sense of accomplishment. Libraries are more than just a collection of books, Darius told the gathered crowd. They are gateways to knowledge, understanding, and opportunity. They are a place where minds can meet, ideas can spread, and dreams can take flight. As autumn returned, bringing cooler winds and the rustle of falling leaves, Darius began to plan for the neighborhood's first Green Day. This event was designed to beautify the community while promoting environmental sustainability. Families gathered to plant trees, install solar-powered streetlights, and set up recycling stations. The day ended with workshops on sustainable living, teaching residents how to reduce their carbon footprint and live more eco-friendly lives. The success of Green Day led to it becoming an annual event, each year focusing on different aspects of sustainability. The neighborhood earned a reputation as a model of environmental responsibility, drawing attention from local government officials and other communities looking to replicate their success. During the winter, as the first snowflakes began to blanket the streets, Darius sat in the barbershop, now adorned with festive decorations. He had just finished organizing a holiday food drive, which had collected a record amount of donations. As he sipped his coffee, a young man approached him, a familiar face but one he hadn't seen in years. "Mr. Darius, I don't know if you remember me, but I grew up here. I moved away for college," the young man started, his voice tinged with emotion. "I just wanted to come back and thank you. This community, what you helped build, it gave me the foundation I needed to succeed. I'm just about to start my own business, and it's all because of the support I had from this place." Darius smiled, deeply touched by the young man's words. "Of course, I remember you. I'm proud of you, and I'm glad to hear you're doing well. Remember, this community will always be here for you, ready to support you in any way we can." As the year drew to a close, Darius looked back on all that had been accomplished. The neighborhood was thriving, not just in terms of new projects and beautification, but more importantly, in the strength of its community bonds. On New Year's Eve, as the residents gathered in the town square for a countdown to the new year, Darius stood among them, his heart full. Fireworks lit up the sky, casting a warm glow over the hopeful faces around him. As they all chanted down the final seconds, Darius realized that this was more than a countdown to a new year. It was a celebration of continued commitment, of dreams realized and yet to be achieved. As the clock struck midnight, cheers erupted through the night. Hugging his neighbors, Darius felt optimistic about the future. They had built something lasting, something that would endure. And as the fireworks faded into the night sky, he knew that together they were ready for whatever the new year might bring. As the new year began, Darius turned his attention to cultivating the next generation of community leaders. He envisioned a mentorship program that would connect the neighborhood's youth with seasoned professionals in various fields: business, arts, sciences, and more. His aim was to inspire these young minds to dream big and give them the tools to achieve those dreams right within their community. Working closely with the local schools and community center, Darius helped establish the Future Leaders program. It kicked off with an enthusiastic reception, attracting a diverse group of mentors eager to give back, including local entrepreneurs, teachers, artists, and even a few who had grown up in the neighborhood and gone on to successful careers elsewhere. Spring brought renewed energy and optimism. The program quickly became a cornerstone of community development, with workshops and one-on-one mentoring sessions. For Darius, watching these young individuals grow was profoundly rewarding. He often shared his own stories, emphasizing the importance of resilience, community, and hard work. As summer approached, the community celebrated the success of its new leaders with a showcase event. The young participants presented projects they had developed through the program, from business plans for new local enterprises to proposals for community improvement projects. The event not only highlighted the potential of the youth, but also strengthened the community's sense of investment in its future. The positive ripple effects of the mentorship program were felt throughout the neighborhood. Local businesses saw a surge in interest and support as community members rallied behind the young entrepreneurs. Public spaces became hubs of activity, with art installations, pop-up markets, and community gardens flourishing under the energetic stewardship of the program's participants. In the fall, Darius organized a community forum, inviting residents to discuss future initiatives and reflect on the successes and challenges of the past year. The forum was well attended, with lively discussions and robust participation from all age groups. It was a testament to the vibrant community spirit that Darius had helped foster, a spirit that encouraged open dialogue and collaborative problem-solving. As the leaves began to change color, Darius felt a deep sense of contentment and purpose. The neighborhood had transformed significantly since he first took a stand in the barbershop those years ago. Now, it was not just a place where people lived, it was a vibrant community where people thrived. Winter brought quiet reflection and celebration. During the annual holiday gathering, Darius was surprised with an award for his service to the community. As he stood before his friends and neighbors, overwhelmed by their gratitude, he knew that while the plaque bore his name, the honor was truly shared by everyone who had contributed to the community's resurgence. "I am because we are," Darius said, addressing the crowd. "This award is for all of us, for the hard work, the dreams, and the unwavering spirit of our community. Let's keep moving forward, together. The year ended with joyous celebrations, and as the community rang in another new year, they looked forward to the opportunities ahead with hope and determination. The barbershop remained a beloved landmark, not just for haircuts, but as a place where significant decisions were made and where people of all ages came together to share, learn, and support one another. Darius, standing amidst the jubilant crowd as fireworks lit up the night sky, felt a profound connection to the place and its people. He had sparked a flame of change and watched it grow into a beacon of hope and unity. As the cheers echoed into the night, he smiled, knowing that the best was yet to come. With the community by his side, he was ready to face whatever challenges and triumphs the future held. As the new year dawned, the community did not just ride the momentum it had built, but sought new ways to innovate and engage every resident. Darius, motivated by the previous successes, proposed the idea of a community innovation hub, a space designed to nurture new ideas, particularly in technology and sustainability. This hub would provide resources for startups, workshops for skill development, and a platform for local inventors and entrepreneurs to showcase their innovations. The proposal was met with enthusiasm, and plans were quickly set in motion. Funding was secured through a combination of local business sponsorships, government grants, and crowdfunding efforts within the community. The chosen location was an old warehouse that had been vacant for years, now repurposed into a vibrant center filled with labs, meeting rooms, and creative spaces. Spring brought the grand opening of the Community Innovation Hub, and it was a landmark event. Local schools organized field trips to the hub, allowing students to interact with innovators and get hands-on experience with cutting-edge technology. Startups began to take root in the space, benefiting from the collaborative environment and the wealth of shared knowledge. Darius made sure that the hub wasn't just about high-tech innovation, but also included initiatives like Green Tech Days, where the focus was on developing sustainable technologies that could help improve environmental health in urban settings. These events were popular, drawing attention from the wider region and positioning the community as a leader in sustainable urban development. As summer unfolded, the hub became a beacon of activity. One of the standout successes was a project led by a group of high school students who developed an affordable water purification device. Their project not only won a national science competition, but also caught the attention of investors interested in implementing the technology in developing countries. The success stories from the hub energized the community, and Darius felt a surge of pride. He had always believed in the potential of his neighbors, and now the world was seeing it too. The hub was more than an incubator for ideas. It was a testament to the community's resilience and ingenuity. In the fall, to celebrate the one-year anniversary of the hub, the community organized a festival called Innovate Fest. The festival showcased live demos from the hub's startups, workshops led by industry experts, and panels discussing the future of technology and community development. The event attracted a large crowd, including dignitaries and business leaders from beyond the community, all eager to see the innovative spirit that Darius had helped foster. During the festival, Darius was asked to speak about the journey from the conception to the realization of the hub. Standing on the stage, looking out at the eager faces in the crowd, he shared the story of how the community had come together to transform a dream into reality. "This hub," Darius said, his voice filled with emotion, "is not just a place. It's a reflection of our community's soul, innovative, resilient, and inclusive. We've shown that, together, there's nothing we can't achieve." As winter approached, the hub planned an end-of-year showcase, highlighting the year's most successful projects and setting goals for the future. The community, now vibrant and thriving, looked forward to these presentations as milestones of their collective achievement. Darius, reflecting on the past year from his favorite spot in the barbershop, felt immense gratitude. The community had not only embraced his vision, but had also taken it to heights he had never imagined. He knew that as long as they continued to support each other, the possibilities were limitless. As the community celebrated another New Year's Eve, with the hub illuminated in the backdrop of the fireworks, Darius felt confident in the enduring strength and creativity of his neighborhood. They had built something extraordinary together, a beacon of hope and innovation that would inspire generations to come. With the hub now a cornerstone of the community, Darius saw an opportunity to further weave the threads of inclusivity and innovation into the fabric of everyday life. He proposed an initiative to integrate more educational programs into the hub, particularly focusing on lifelong learning for all age groups. This would ensure that the community's growth in technology and innovation was accessible to everyone, not just the youth or tech-savvy. The community welcomed this initiative with open arms. Local educators, retired professionals, and tech enthusiasts came together to design a curriculum that included everything from basic computer literacy for seniors to advanced coding workshops for teens and young adults. The programs were structured to encourage mentorship across generations, promoting an environment where knowledge and experience were shared freely and openly. As spring blossomed, so did the variety of courses offered at the hub. A particularly popular program was the Tech Buddies initiative, where teenagers paired up with seniors to teach them about using smartphones, social media, and navigating the internet safely. These sessions often ended with heartfelt conversations and shared stories, bridging the gap between generations and fostering new friendships. Summer brought a new vibrancy to the community, with the annual Innovate Fest, now a much-anticipated event. Building on its previous success, the festival expanded to include a makers market, where local artisans and tech innovators could sell and showcase their products. Workshops on sustainable living, 3D printing, and robot building contests attracted crowds from surrounding areas, further cementing the community's reputation as a hub of creativity and innovation. Darius, ever the visionary, also initiated a startup summer camp for young entrepreneurs. This program, hosted at the hub, provided resources, mentorship, and seed funding for teens to start their own projects. It culminated in a pitch day, where participants presented their business models to local investors and community leaders. The success rate was impressive, with several projects receiving funding and support to turn their ideas into reality. As autumn leaves started to fall, Darius reflected on the integration of the hub into the community's cultural and educational landscape. It had become more than just a center for technology. It was a place where art, culture, education, and innovation intersected, enriching everyone involved. The end-of-year showcase at the hub was a grand affair, highlighting the achievements and breakthroughs of the year. Darius, proud but humble, used this occasion to announce his next big project, an expansion of the hub to include a community VR lab, where virtual reality technology would be used to create immersive educational and training experiences. Winter was festive and full of joy as the community celebrated the holidays with a light show at the hub, featuring a spectacular display of technological and artistic talents. Families gathered, sipping hot cocoa, as children marveled at the 3D light sculptures dancing in sync with music. It was a magical end to a transformative year. As another year dawned, Darius stood at his usual spot in the barbershop, looking out at the bustling street. He saw people of all ages heading towards the hub, ready to learn, explore, and innovate. His heart swelled with pride, not just in what they had accomplished, but in the knowledge that they had built a sustainable, supportive community that valued every member's potential. Reflecting on the journey, Darius realized that the true measure of their success was not in the projects completed or the technology developed, but in the strong, resilient community spirit that had emerged. As he prepared to step into another year of growth and innovation, he knew that this spirit would guide them through whatever challenges and triumphs lay ahead. With each year, the community not only strengthened but also extended its influence, becoming a beacon of hope and progress for surrounding areas. Darius, inspired by the sustained success and ongoing potential of his community, envisioned an even broader platform to share these achievements and learnings. He proposed the first annual Community Innovation Conference, a forum where communities from various regions could converge to share strategies, successes, and lessons learned. As preparations for the conference kicked off in the spring, Darius worked closely with the Community Council to organize a diverse array of panels and workshops. They reached out to leaders from similar initiatives nationwide, inviting them to participate. The conference was designed to cover topics ranging from community-led technological innovations to grassroots social justice initiatives, ensuring a comprehensive dialogue on community empowerment. By summer, the conference had taken shape, attracting speakers and attendees from across the country. Held at the Hub, the event was a vibrant gathering of minds eager to exchange ideas and inspire one another. Darius opened the conference with a keynote speech that traced the arc of his community's transformation, highlighting the pivotal role of collective action and shared vision in driving sustainable change. The conference was a resounding success, sparking new collaborations and initiatives. Inspired by the discussions, a group of attendees from different cities formed a national network to support community-led development projects, with Darius's community serving as a model and central resource. As autumn arrived, bringing a cool crispness to the air, the community reflected on the connections and plans forged during the conference. Energized by the positive feedback and the expanding network, they launched a Community Innovation Fund, aimed at supporting new local projects and extending microgrants to initiatives inspired by the conference. During the winter, the community celebrated another year of growth and success. The holiday season at the Hub was filled with workshops on sustainable gift-making, community storytelling evenings, and a winter market that featured local artisans and tech innovators. It was a festive period that also served as a live demonstration of the year's innovations and crafts. As the new year approached, Darius felt a profound sense of accomplishment and anticipation. The community had not only transformed itself, but was now inspiring and facilitating change beyond its borders. The Barbershop, where it all began, continued to be a place of camaraderie and planning, its walls adorned with photos of community events, news clippings, and thank-you notes from various people whose lives had been touched by the community's efforts. On New Year's Eve, as the community gathered in the town square for the countdown, Darius stood among his neighbors, friends, and family. Fireworks lit up the sky, illuminating the faces around him, faces filled with joy, hope, and the shared satisfaction of achievements yet to come. As they all chanted down the final seconds, Darius knew they were not just heralding a new year, but celebrating the enduring power of community. As the crowd erupted in cheers at the stroke of midnight, Darius realized that their collective journey was a testament to what could be accomplished when people unite with common goals. The future was bright, filled with possibilities, and as long as they maintained their unity and drive, there was no limit to what they could achieve together. As the new year dawned, Darius felt reinvigorated by the palpable energy of his community. He decided that the upcoming year would focus on even deeper integration of technology and community well-being, envisioning a project that blended the two seamlessly. Spring brought the launch of the Smart Community Initiative, which aimed to incorporate smart technology into everyday life to improve quality of life and streamline community services. This initiative included installing smart lights that adjusted based on time of day and weather conditions to conserve energy, and smart benches that provided free Wi-Fi and charging stations, and also collected environmental data to monitor air quality. The implementation of these technologies not only modernized the community, but also served as a learning platform for local students and tech enthusiasts, who were invited to participate in the maintenance and data analysis. Workshops on how to interpret environmental data and use it to make informed decisions about community health initiatives became a popular fixture at the Hub. By summer, the benefits of the Smart Community Initiative were clear. Reduced energy consumption and improved air quality indices were just the beginning. The initiative also fostered a sense of ownership and pride among residents, who saw their home as a leading example of innovative urban living. In the spirit of expanding this model, Darius organized the Smart Cities Youth Summit, held at the community hub. Young leaders from across the region were invited to learn about the technologies being used, the data being gathered, and the impact on the community. The summit included hackathons, where teams competed to develop new applications for the smart technologies implemented around the community. As autumn leaves began to fall, reflecting the change in seasons, the community also reflected on the changes it had undergone. With every new project and initiative, from the Smart Community Initiative to the Youth Summit, it became clear that the community was not just reacting to the future but actively shaping it. Winter was marked by the publication of the first Community Innovation Annual, a comprehensive review of the year's projects, achievements, and future plans. Darius, who wrote the foreword, emphasized the community's commitment to using technology not just for its own sake, but as a tool to enhance community life, ensure sustainability, and empower its residents. The annual became a valuable resource, distributed in schools, libraries, and other communities, sparking interest and inspiring similar initiatives elsewhere. It was a testament to the far-reaching impact of their work, extending beyond their local boundaries. As the year drew to a close, the community gathered once again to celebrate their accomplishments and ring in the new year. The town square was filled with music, laughter, and an impressive display of lights that mirrored the technological advancements they had embraced. Darius, standing among his fellow community members, felt a deep connection to each person there. Each light, each smile was a part of a bigger picture, a community that had transformed itself into a beacon of progress and unity. As the countdown to the new year began, Darius looked around at the excited faces, young and old, all lit by the glow of the festive lights and the promise of new beginnings. When the crowd erupted at midnight, celebrating the arrival of another year, Darius knew that they were not just cheering for the turn of the calendar, but for the continuation of a journey they all shared. The fireworks that illuminated the sky were a dazzling tribute to their collective effort and a reminder of the bright future they were building together. With each burst of color, Darius felt reassured that as long as they stayed true to their values of innovation, education, and community spirit, there would always be more to celebrate, more to achieve, and more ways in which they could make a difference. The community, under Darius's guidance, had become a model not just of what could be achieved when people unite with common goals, but of what it means to live in a society where every individual is valued and where every contribution is recognized as part of a larger, collective success.